All right, cool. Hey, U9 crew. What I'm trying to do for you here is just doing a real quick little clip on finding 10% of an item because we're now going into our percentages section of our work. And to do that, it's a really useful one because we start with something we've already learned a little while back, and that's just dividing anything by 10. Finding 10% is all about dividing things by 10. So it's a nice start. And you remember dividing by 10. Dividing by 10 means moving all the figures one place to the right. Move figures one place to the right. Cool. So, looking at something like 40 divided by 10. Now there is a decimal point. It's actually fixed right there. And what we're doing when we're dividing by 10 is actually that 4 and that 0 both jump one place to the right. So we're going to end up with an answer of 4.0 or just 4. Both the 4 and the 0 are moved one place to the right. We can start with any size number, really. We can go 1,200 divided by 10. And again, as long as we keep that decimal point fixed, it's right there by the 0. This 1, this 2, and these two zeros are all going to jump one place to the right. So I'll put my decimal point in. We're going to end up with that as an answer, 120.0, which is 120. Cool thing is you can start with something that gives you a decimal answer and it's not so hard to figure out. I can do 38 divided by 10. 38 divided by 10, well, yeah, there's the decimal point. And again, the 3 and the 8, because we're dividing by 10, are both going to shift one place to the right. So there's my decimal point. The 8's moved over, and so is the 3. So 38 becomes 3.8. And effectively what I've done there, in each case, I've just found 10% of 40. I found 10% of 1,200 and 10% of 38. Cool. So let's try a couple of things. Let's do what is 10% of 70? Cool, so we're going to start with the other one. Okay, we're doing 10%. Let's divide by 10. 70 divided by 10. Decimal point is fixed by the 0. They both jump. The 7 and the 0 both jump. Gives me an answer of 7. Cool, so that's 10% of 70 is 7. But then you might then get asked, well, what is 20% of 70? And if I'm doing 20%, I'm not going to divide by 20. I'm going to go back to doing this. We always find 10% first and we build from there. So we go, okay, what is 10% of 20? Well, we're going to do 70 divided by 10 gives 7.0. I'm just going to write that's 10%. Well, in case we want 20%, we're going to go, okay, so 7 times 2 is 14. So doubling 10% is going to give me 20%. So then I could actually, if I really wanted to, I could say, okay, 30% of 70 should be 10% times 3. So 70 divided 10 is 7. 7 times 3 gives me 21. So 10% is just times it by 3. And so you can actually figure out just about any percent is based on 10%. Okay, I could go ahead and say, well, go back to this example. If 10% of 70 is 7, then I wonder what 5% is. Well, if I half 10%, I get 5%. So if I half 7, I get 3.5. I could use 10% and 20% and 5% to make 10, 20, 35% of 70. That's going to be, well, let's have a look, 7, 14, and 3.5. 7, 14, and 3.5. So that gives me 35%. All right, cool. See how you go with the questions that were set for you guys. Hopefully that video helped out a little bit, and good luck. Cheers.